Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, audiences. I'm Renita Felmadefi, an accounting student class F. Now, I'm sitting here invited by my lecturer to answer his question. The question consists in three parts, namely question on part A deals with the daily activity in the classroom, question on part B deals with the accounting theory, question on part C deals with the accounting article and accounting video. Please watch my video and listen to my answers, and please subscribe my video and like. Well, let me begin now. Question on part A, number 1. Do you always attend a lecture of English for accounting? If yes, how often do you attend a lecture of English for accounting? And why must you attend a lecture? And what benefits have you got from attending the lecture of English for accounting? My answer: no, I don't always attend a lecture of English for accounting because sometimes this lecture crashes to the other lecture. But for me, attend the lecture of English for accounting is a must because the subject is quite important. The benefit for learning English for accounting is, as we know, basically that accounting was certainly closely related to the financial. And when we talk about the finance, it means we are not just talking about the rupiahs. This is the financial reporting would not only present it in Indonesian, but the accountant also required to make the financial reporting in English. When an accountant makes a financial report, accounts are used ranging from asset, liabilities, capital, or even accounts that are not commonly used, such as long-term employees benefit and deferred tax liabilities. Well, here, why the accountant is required to be able to speak English, because when an accountant incorrectly putting accounts in the financial statement, the financial statement can be said to be in accordance with what is actually recorded. And when it happens, it means that it can be said that an accounting doing a financial manipulation. That's all about the question number 1, and then I continue to the question number 2. Do you do your structure assignment given? If yes, how many voice records have you done? Mention the title and explain them in short. My answer: yes, I do my structure assignment given. The total record of my video records is 7. First, I explain about what is accounting. Accounting is a process of identifying, measuring, verifying, summarizing, and communicating financial information and record the financial data. Its activity to maintain the record of financial profit or loss for a given period. Second, I explain about introduction of accounting basic, to introduce us to some basic accounting principle, accounting concept, and accounting terminology. Third, I explain about what is accounting is so important, why is it so confusing, and how is it useful for us as a student. Accounting is extremely important for recording the financial transaction in a business. Without accounting, you cannot display the financial health of your business to your stakeholders. Fourth, I explain about accounting cycle. It tells us that the accounting cycle is the holistic process of recording and processing all financial transactions of a company, from when the transaction occurs to its representation on a financial statement to closing the accounts. Fifth, I explain about asset, cash, liabilities, owner's equity, account payable, account receivable, debt, credit, income statement, and journal. Asset is the property of an entity or a company that have the value in the future. Cash is one of the account which include an asset. Liability is the value that company owed to the third party. Owner's equity is one of the 3 main sections of the sole proprietorship. Account payable is when a company owed to the third parties, and account receivable is when the third party owed to the company. Debt and credit is such a rule to put the transactions. Income statement is one of the financial statements that contain revenue, expenses, and profit or loss. And journal is the record of the financial statement in order by date. Sixth, I explain about why do I take accounting at FEUPB. I took accounting at FEUPB because there is a conversion in there and UPB is well known in town. Seventh, I explain about balance sheet. Balance sheet is a statement of the financial position of a business that lists the asset, liabilities, and owner's equity at a particular point in time. That's all about the question number 2, and then I continue to the question number 3. Have you been asked to sing 2 songs in group and video record your songs? Mention the title of your song and explain what the song tells you. My answer is, the title of the first song we sang is I Wake Up. The song tells us about the activity we used to do when we woke up and get ready for school, like wash our face, brush our teeth, comb our hair, and eat breakfast. The second song I sang is Just a Friend to You by Meghan Trainor. This song tells us about the friend zone cycle. Have you ever heard about that? That is the situation of being a friend with someone you fell in love with, but you can't even have him as a lover, although we have been through days together. Seems like more than just a friend, but not close enough to be a partner of love because our feeling for him was rejected naturally and we name it one-sided love. That's the question number 3, and I continue to the question number 4. Do you do video recording in English for accounting? If yes, mention the title of the article and the video you have video recorded and explain it in short. Every article or video have you video recorded? How many video recorded have you done and why? My answer, yes, I do video recording in English for accounting. I have posted 23 video records because it's a duty for me to do my assignment. That are 1. Accounting Basic by Warren Reef. In this topic, I explain about 3 subtopics that are accounting equation, T-account, the rules of debt and credit, analyzing and recording transaction, financial statement, accounting cycle, types of adjusting entries and closing entries. 2. Accounting and the Business Environment by Evelyn Gerencia. In this topic, I explain it about 4 subtopics that are the language of business, financial accounting and management accounting, types of business based on its main activity, and business transaction. 3. Current liabilities by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain 3 topics that are account payable, payroll liability, and note payable. 4. Long-term liability by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain 5 subtopics that are note payable, mortgage payable, lease obligation, bond payable, and deferred income tax. 5. Partnership by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain about the characteristic of a partnership. 6. Corporation by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain about the characteristic of a corporation. 7. About midterm assignment. 8. Statement of cash flow by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain about operating activity, investing activity, financing activity, and cash reconciliation. 9. Financial statement analysis by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain 4 subtopics that are needed for financial statement analysis, trend analysis, common size analysis, and ratio analysis. 10. Investment by Elizabeth M. Bailey. In this topic, I explain about accounting for debt securities, accounting for equity securities, and balance sheet classification and valuation. 11. About a music cover that is fine, Meghan Trainor, just a friend to you. 12. Accounting information by Larry Weather and Christopher Skousen. In this topic, it tells us about the summarizing the activity of the entities to the report. 13. The posting journal entries to the general ledger. In this topic, I explain about 3 main sections that are general ledger, the posting process, and preparing the trial balance. 14. The accounting profession and careers by Larry Weather and Christopher Skousen. In this topic, it tells us that to decide to be an accountant is no more descriptive than deciding to be a doctor. Obviously, there are many specialty areas. 15. The fundamental accounting equation by Larry Weather and Christopher Skousen. This topic tells us that the fundamental accounting equation is the backbone of the accounting and reporting system. It's central to understanding a key financial statement known as the balance sheet. 16. Introducing to accounting. 17. The core financial statement by Larry Weather and Christopher Skousen. This topic tells us that the financial accounting seeks to directly report information and additional supplemental disclosure frequently provide insight about subject. But we would also need to gain additional information by reviewing corporate websites, filing with the securities regulator, financial journal and magazines, and other such sources. 18. Activity-based costing by Elizabeth Emin Bailey. This topic tells us that activity-based costing assumes that the steps or activities that must be followed to manufacture a product are what determine the overhead costs incurred. 19. Managerial and cost accounting concept by Elizabeth Emin Bailey. This topic tells us that financial statements are used by both external users and internal management and provide general information about the entire company. A comparison of managerial and financial accounting shows the difference between the two sets of information. 20. Traditional accounting system by Elizabeth Emin Bailey. This topic tells us that to accompany the procedures are the two traditional types of costing accounting system that are job order cost system and process cost system. 21. Budget by Elizabeth Emin Bailey. This topic tells us that budgets are part of a company's long-range planning system. 22. Flexible budget and standard cost by Elizabeth Emin Bailey. This topic tells us that flexible budgets are one way companies deal with different levels of activity. A flexible budget provides budgeted data for different levels of activity. And the last is 23. I Wake Up. That's a cover music group. That's all about the question number 4, and I continue to the question number 5. Mention and explain the material you have studied from the lecture, and what benefit have you got from the materials you have studied. My answer: the materials I have studied from lecturer are 1. Accounting and business. This lesson tells us about the nature of a business and the role of ethics and accounting in business. And the benefit I got from this lesson is I know that accounting is important in a business. It can be the role of business and has the type of each type of business. 2. Business transaction and accounting equation. This lesson tells us about the property and financial claims. And the benefit I get from this lesson is I know that any type of property has at least one financial claim against it. Accounts are used to analyze business transactions. 3. The posting journal entries to the general ledger. In this topic, I explain about 3 main sections that are general ledger, the posting process, and preparing a trial balance. And the benefit I got from this lesson is I know the rules of posting journal entries and the flow of the accounting until the trial balance. 4. Analyzing business transaction. In this topic, I explain about the property and financial interest. And the benefit I get from this lesson is I know how to record in equation form the financial effect of a business transaction, and I know the define, identify, and understand the relationship between asset, liability, and owner's equity accounts. That's all about the question on part A, and then I continue the question on part B. Question on part B. The questions deals with the accounting theory. 1. The basic accounting equation is asset equal liability plus owner's equity, because that's the formula. For each of the transactions in item 2 through 13 indicate the 2 or more effects of the accounting equation for the business or company. So I continue to the question number 2. The owner invests personal cash in the business. It will increase in asset and increase in owner's equity. Because when the owner invests the personal cash, it will increase the cash in asset and also in the equity of owner's equity account. Question number 3. The owners withdraw cash from the business for personal use. It means that the asset is decreased and the owner's equity is decreased. Because when the owners withdraw a cash, it means that the cash will minus and the owner's equity will minus. So asset and owner's equity account will decrease. Question number 4. The company received cash from a bank loan. It means that asset increase and liability increase. Because when the company receives cash from a bank loan, it means that the company get the cash that will increase the cash in asset account, and it also means when we receive it from a bank loan, it will increase the liabilities on our account. And then I continue to the number 5. The company repays the bank that had lent money to the company. It means that asset decrease and liability decrease. Why? Because when the company repays the liability on the bank, it means that it repays with cash and it will minus the liability. So cash in asset will decrease and liability also decrease. Question number 6. The company purchases equipment with its cash. It means that asset is increased and also decreased. Why? Because equipment is in asset that will increase because the company purchases for equipment, and also the company pay it with cash, so the cash in asset will decrease. Number 7. The owners contributes his or her personal truck to the business. It means that asset increase and also decrease, because when the owner contributes his or her personal truck, It means that the new account is added to the asset, so the account is trapped, is increased, and also decrease in asset because we pay it with cash. I continue to the number 8. The company purchases a significant amount of supplies on credit. It means that asset increase and liability increase, because when the company purchases a significant amount of supplies, it means that the supplies will increase, and supplies is in asset, and the liability will increase because the company purchases on credit. I continue to the number 9. The company purchased land by paying half in cash and signing a note payable for the other half. It means that asset increase and also decrease, and then the liability increase. Why? Because the company purchases a land by paying half in cash, so it means the cash is decrease because the company purchased it, and the other side in land account is increase, and then the liability increase because a half of the purchases is on account. And then continue to number 10. Company X provides consulting service to client Key in May. Company X bills client Key in May for agreed upon amount of $5,000. The sales invoice shows that the amount will be due in June. In May, Company X records the transaction by a debit to account receivable for $5,000 and a credit to service revenues for $5,000. What is the effect of this entry upon the accounting equation for Company X? The answer is asset increase and owner's equity also increase because the Company X records the transaction by a debit to account receivable, and account receivable is in the asset side that will increase and also get the revenue, and the revenue is on the left side, in the owner's equity side. Question number 11. In June, Company X received the $5,000. What is the effect on the accounting equation, and which accounts are affected at Company X? The answer is asset has no effect because one asset cash increases while another asset accounts receivable decreases. Since the accounts will change by the same amount, the total amount of asset will not change. Number 12. What is the effect on client Key's accounting equation in May when client Key records the transaction on a debit to consultant expense for $5,000 and a credit to accounts payable for $5,000? The answer is liability increases and owner's equity decrease. Liability increase because the account payable is a liability, and owner's equity decrease because an expense will cause owner's equity to decrease. Question on number 13. What is the effect on client Key's accounting equation in June when the client Key remits the $5,000? Also, which account will be involved? The answer is assets decrease and liability decrease. Why? Because the liability will decrease since account payable is a liability. Number 14. Which of the following will cause owner's equity to increase? It is revenue. Why? Because when we get the revenue, we get increase the owner's equity. 15. Which of the following will cause owner's equity to decrease? That is net loss. Because when we get to the net loss, it means that the owner's equity lost for the amount of the net loss, and it means that the owner's equity will be decreased about it. 16. The accounting equation should remain in balance because every transaction affects how many accounts? The answer is 2 or more. Because we cannot claim that every transaction will remain in 2 accounts only. Sometimes it can be 3 or even 4. Question on number 17. A corporation's net income is eventually recorded in the following stockholders' equity account: retained earnings. 18. A corporation quarterly blah 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 will cause a reduction in a corporation's retained earning, which in turn reduce the corporation's stockholders' equity. However, this will not reduce the corporation's net income. The answer is dividend. 19. The financial statement is a structure that is similar to the accounting equation. Is the balance sheet. Balance sheet is the answer because similar with the accounting equation is balance sheet. Balance sheet contain asset and liability and also owner's equity. Similar with the what accounting equation. And then the question number 20. The financial statement that reports the portion of change in owner's equity resulting from revenues and expenses during a specified time interval in the blah blah blah. That is income statement. There is a problem 5 of business transaction following a list of common transactions. Each of the transactions will affect the account equation in one of the following ways. First, an increase in asset and an increase in a liability. It can be because of the purchased equipment on account. Why? Because when we purchase equipment on account, it means that equipment is in asset, so the asset will increase, and the liability is also increased because it purchased on account. And number 2, an increase in asset and an increase in owner's equity. It can be receive cash for common stock. Why? Because when we receive cash, it will increase an asset because cash is asset. And also in owner's equity because we receive cash for common stock. Common stock is the part of owner's equity. Number 3. An increase in an asset and decrease in is another asset that might be purchased supplies for cash. Why? Because when we purchase supplies, it will increase another asset, because supplies is the part of asset. So asset will increase, and the other asset will decrease because it purchased for cash, so cash will decrease, and cash is part of asset. Number 4, a decrease in an asset and a decrease in a liability. It might be paid creditor on account, because when we paid creditor, it will increase the cash, and the liability is also decreased. Number 5, a decrease in an asset and a decrease in owner's equity. It might be paid rent for the month, because when we paid the rent, it will decrease the cash, and also the owner's equity will be minus. And then we continue to the next number. Required for each transaction, select the proper effect on the account equation. You must also give the reason why is it increase or decrease. Problem 6. Debts and credit following is a list common accounting transactions. A. Issuance of common stock to a shareholders for cash. It will increase cash and increase equity, because when we talk about the common stock, it will increase the equity. It will all about the equity, and it will increase the cash, and the cash is an asset. Problem 6. Debts and credit following is a least common accounting transaction. A. Issuance of common stock to a shareholder for cash. It means that increase asset and increase for owner's equity. Why? Because when we talk about the common stock, we talk about the owner's equity, and this issuance of common stock to shareholders for cash will increase in cash, specifically in asset, and it will also increase in equity, because this is for shareholders. B. Payment of rent for the current month. It means that it decreases both cash and equity. Why? Because when we get to pay the rent, it will increase the cash, and the cash is on asset, and it also will increase the equity, because it will affect the owner's equity. C. Purchase of supplies on account. So it increase asset for supplies account and increase liability. Why? Because when we purchase the supplies, the cash, I mean the supplies is increased, and it means that asset will increase because there is a added account, and also liability increase because the purchasing is on account. D. Payment to a creditor on account. It means it increases both cash and account payable. Why? Because when we have to pay to a creditor, it will increase our cash. It will increase our cash because we pay it, and on account, it means that the liability is decreased specifically and account payable. E. Fees earned and billed to customers. It means that increased cash and revenue. Why? Because when we fees earned, it will increase the cash, and the cash is asset, so it increased the asset, and the revenue will increase, and it means that the owner's equity is increased. F. Receipt of cash from customers previously billed on account. It means increased cash and decreased account receivable. Why? Because when we receive a cash from customer that previously billed on account, it means that the account receipt, it means that the customer give us a money that they previously billed. So account receivable will minus, and we will get the money, so it will increase in cash, and cash is asset. G. Payment of cash dividend to stakeholders. It means that it will decrease equity and increase dividend. Why? Because when we payment of cash dividend, it will make the owner's equity minus, and the other effect to dividend is in equity. Equity is also increased, that increase specifically in dividend. H. Payment for a 3-year insurance policy. It means that decrease both cash and equity. Why? Because when we pay a 3 years insurance, it means we pay it. It means that we pay it with cash, and the cash is asset, so asset will decrease, and also the equity will increase because it is effect to the owner's equity account. I. Incurred utilities expenses. It means that decrease both cash and equity, because when we talk about the expenses, it will affect in cash and equity. G. Receipt of cash for service to be provided in the future. It means that increase prepaid service and revenue. Why? Because we receive of cash for service, so we get the money, and when we get the money, it means that the asset is increased, specifically in prepaid service. Why? Because this is provided in the future, so we get the prepaid payment. And also the revenue is a part of owner's equity, so the owner's equity will increase. Well, that's all about my answer to the part B, and then I proceed to continue the question on part C. The question on part C deals with the article and the videos. Well, I answer the question on part C. The question on part C. Number 1. Read the accounting book that has been given by your lecturer. Mention the title of the ebook and who writes the ebook. How many pages does the ebook have? How many chapters does the ebook have? And what does each chapter tells you? My answer. The Accounting Cycle, written by Larry Weather and Christopher Skousen. It has 98 pages and 5 chapters. The first chapter is about Welcome to the World of Accounting. It tells us about the basic knowledge of accounting, which contain accounting information, the accounting profession and careers, and fundamental accounting equation, how transaction impact the accounting equation, and the core financial statement. The second chapter is about information processing. It tells us about how to analyze the transaction into the general ledger and process it until the trial balance. The lesson that contained in this part is account, debt, and credit, the general ledger, the trial balance, computer processing system, and T account. The third chapter is about income measurement. It tells us about the measurement triggering, periodicity assumption, basic element of revenue recognition, basic element of expense recognition, the adjusting process, and cash versus accrual basic accounting. The fourth chapter is reporting cycle. This chapter shows us the illustration to process for preparing the financial statement. That's all about the question number 1, and then I continue to the question number 2. You can get the article on the WhatsApp group, and you must explain the contents of the article on your own English word. My answer, I took the article in the WhatsApp group about Grow with Character in Digital Era, sources by Mark Plus. In this article, it tells us about the technology that runs the world. As we know that, living in this globalization area, we use digital in most activity. For example, the cell phone. Start with the alarm that we use to wake us up. We use alarm not by alarm clock anymore, but we set it in our phone. Sometimes, when we can't sleep, we play the playlist on our phone to sing us a night song. In the morning, we never read a newspaper anymore. We read the article on the internet or the social media in our phone. If we want to watch the movie, we can open the newest movie or cinema through YouTube, or we sell them to watch by television. If we want to read a book, our phone serves us with the e-book. If we want to buy something, we also use phone to order some food and the other stuffs. Life gets so much easier when we use cell phone because it serves us everything we need. But besides that, it also has the negative side. The cellular phone can make us forget about our close friend or the people around us. It also makes us forget about our life, and it sometimes makes us forget about our duty as a Muslim to take a prayer. So, to maintain the positive and negative side about the phone or other digital thing, we have to build the character education that contains in 3 main components, such as excellence, professionalism, and ethics. Okay, that's all about the question number 2, and I continue to the question number 3. Open the link, and what does the video tells you? Okay, I opened the link and I got 2 videos. The first video, the title is Introduction to Accounting for the Beginners. The speaker is Let's Do Accountancy. The speaker discusses about solve the problem of the business information by recording every transaction. The content is, this video talks about someone named John have a problem with his business because he didn't record the transaction, so he was confused about how much the profit and how much the expense. So he invited someone named Peter for a favor. Peter did a transaction record and made the financial statement. After that, John got the important information he needed. He knew his stand in business profit and where the money is. So the conclusion is, initial record kept maintained in nothing but bookkeeping, which is to making reports. And the first step is classifying and analyzing. The activity will guide you to find the decision making. The second video, the title is Real, Personal, Nominal Account and Golden Rules of Accounting. The speaker is Easy CBS Commerce lecturer Neha S. Paryani. The speaker discussed about the classification or types of account and their debit and credit rules, also known as golden rules of accounting. The content is, this video tells us that account divided by 2 types that are personal account and impersonal account. Personal account is the accounts which are related to a person, institute, or a company. Impersonal account divided by real account and nominal account. The real account deals with the tangible and intangible assets, and the nominal account related to income or gain, expenses, and loss. Okay, that's all about my question and answer of my exam. But before I end this video, I would like to present a testimonial since I had been in Mr. Adi Mursalian class. He's friendly. He taught us with the easiest language of explanation so we can understand. He is kind. He never been angry with us. He just forced us to do our assignment by voice and video record. And he is firm. There is no negotiation in his rule, such as authoritarian. And I want to say thank you, Mr. Adi, about this 6 months English accounting class. I really hope I can get A as my score because I can speak English, obviously. I used to have a little conversation with you in the class using English when we discuss about the material, and I always paid attention when you were explaining. And I also did all the assignment you gave to us, and I did it as the best I can do. I always video record myself as good as you wish, and I think I deserve to get A. Well, that's all for today. For lesson more, I do apologize, and thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.